We begin with a Fox News alert. A live look now at CPAC. We're awaiting the results of today's straw poll. Where's the live look? It's coming. I promise you it's coming. The results are expected at any moment. We're going to take a listen in. Take a listen.
High information voters. The CPAC voters are the highest information voters. They get it. You folks in this room, you understand what Joe Biden said. You understand what Chuck Schumer said, where there was no way they were going to allow President Bush to support, to appoint a Supreme Court justice during an election year and allow the voters to decide. So you get it, and that's why it's 82-12 on that issue. And with that said,
is everybody in from the hallway? This is a good time to be in the CPAC room. Come on in. Jim, are we ready?
Ready. We're ready.
The winner of the CPAC 2016 straw poll is Ted Cruz.
You did good.
Good job.
Thank you.
Jim. I'm a little sweaty.
All right, so there it is. Ted Cruz, no surprise there. A very, very popular conservative. Again, it is the Conservative Political Action Conference that he was speaking at, that they spent the last couple of days at, that Dane was at yesterday as well. Looked like Rubio, if I'm not mistaken, looked like Rubio came in second. Donald Trump came in third. I think that was what we saw, right?
Yep,
and he wasn't even there, which is...
And he wasn't there. Could you talk about that? He chose to do some campaigning instead.
Yeah, well, he was going to attend and go the whole time, and then made some schedule changes at the end to hit some states very hard where it's crucial for him to be able to get those, votes and delegates. But besides that, there was, wide discussion about a whole planned walkout against him to try to make, a big point. So you don't show up for a firing squad, right, voluntarily, unless you've got some issues.
Maybe. Yeah, I think, look.
But then that's Greg.
This is a guy who's got, if only he had a private jet that could have got him back to CPAC in time. Doesn't he have something with his name on it? I believe it's a jet.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's huge. So I think, the reason why he left is exactly what you said, that he knew that there was going to be resistance, and, being the fighter that he is, he ran away. But I've got a bigger comment about this, because what we're learning here when we're seeing Ted Cruz win and we're seeing Donald Trump get this incredible support, we're seeing really a conservative movement in crisis. It's like a troubled marriage, and it's time to almost call for some kind of reconciliation here. We have to understand that in this troubled marriage, there are the pro-Trump spouse and the anti-Trump spouse, and they need to come together. So how do they come together in a troubled marriage? Somebody has to extend an olive branch. Me, personally, I was a fan of Trump until he insulted Senator McCain. That upset me, because I never heard anybody say that about a war hero, and that bothered me. How do you get somebody like me back on the Trump train? Well,
is there an opportunity to get someone like you on?
I think to use the marriage analogy, when you're in the doghouse, what do? You got to apologize. You got to go buy the flowers.
Trump apologize?
Yes, exactly. I think he's got to. I think there's a Republican half out there that is like, this guy. His group isn't just the angry group. We're angry too, and we're angry at the things that you've said about John McCain. We're angry about the stuff about war crimes, it's not even about war crimes. It's about saying that you better do what I say. That is not a conservative belief.
You're talking about torture.
Yeah. There are things that bother people, and I think it is time, if he wants to win, he's got to go out. It's like when you are in the doghouse, you have to go extend the olive branch.
Kimberly's point is more on point here. He did not go because he expected a very hostile response from
that's my point. He
conservative yuppies.
He should have shown up and
who supported Rand Paul 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
They weren't going to have a legit vote on the true conservatives, seemed to me.
But at a certain point, if you want to be the leader of the Republican Party, that means all Republicans, including people that aren't supporting Donald Trump. And he also didn't show up because there was going to be a Q&A, and he probably would have gotten some pretty tough questions, and he fled like a coward, and he should have faced this demographic that doesn't like him. And I agree with you that at a certain point, if we want to unite as a party, we are allowed to be angry as well. We are. To somehow have a co-opt on what anger is allowed and validated right now is
Meghan
not...
McCain, do you honestly think that Donald Trump was afraid of questions from CPAC
when
he's gone and put himself in the line of fire just
in
about
front of Megyn Kelly.
in front of debate moderators, in front of hostile crowds?
I wouldn't use the phrase line of fire to Meghan McCain.
Well, no, but
you know what I mean?
No, I do understand what you mean.
Yeah.
However, the accusation was that he didn't show up at CPAC because he was afraid of some questions. I have news for you. He gets a lot tougher questions from the debate moderators than he was going to get at CPAC. I would guess.
Well, but Eric, can I tell you something? So the other night, it was very interesting, and that's why it's important when we go out on the road, and, you know, it's tough on us, but nevertheless, it's really important to see what happens in real life at these things in real time. And I was there, till 1 in the morning. And you know what? The only candidate that went and did an every single question that was asked of him in the spin room in that light, and there were hordes of reporters, was Trump. Cruz didn't go out, Rubio didn't come out, and the only other person that did was Kasich, who took some questions there. I think it's so important. Yes, you have to make yourself available. You have to reach people, and that's how you go out there and convince and not afraid.
But isn't CPAC the place to reconcile?
No.
You have to. He's got half of the Republicans there that are conservatives. So avoid conservatives.
No, I didn't say avoid conservatives. That's not the place. I mean, if you really wanted, which I don't think he does. I don't think he wants to extend the olive branch to the.
I don't even think it's Q&A bowling. It's the bad video that comes
Here's what it used to be. It used to be far right, they called fringe, they called moderate squishes, rhinos, and there were the lanes were drawn that way. It's not those lanes are blurred now.
Who drew those lanes, though?
Whomever.
It's the people that are now behind Trump.
Greg, the media did. What the lanes are now are insiders and outsiders, and it goes beyond whether you were far right, center right, or downright Democrat, liberal.
So every member of CPAC is an insider. The thing that I don't understand is establishment, and I've asked this question many times, and no one can give me an answer.
Is
please let me finish. Please let me finish.
Of course it is.
Is anyone, any candidate, any person out there right now, non-establishment, anti-establishment other than Trump? Or is he the only anti-establishment person that exists? And what Greg is trying to say is very frustrating to be an anti-Trump person right now, because we all obviously have faith in the Republican Party and want this party to come back together. The idea of Hillary Clinton becoming president gives me nightmares. Donald Trump needs to, if he wants to be this leader, he has to reach out to people like us.
Can he become president if Donald Trump is in fact the nominee? Can he be the next president without bringing the insiders into the
first major event, this CPAC conference, which I don't think is the establishment at all, Megyn. I think these are young, hyperactive libertarians, generally speaking.
Yeah.
This is the first major event since the sustained attack on Donald Trump over the last several days, led by Mitt Romney and others who do represent the establishment. And with due respect to your dad, who I love and is my favorite person in politics,
other than
he
Trump?
is the establishment.
Anyone else? Is Ted Cruz anti-establishment?
I think Ted Cruz is to the right of the establishment as well.
No, answer the question. Who else is anti-establishment running or in the Republican Party at all other than Trump?
I would suggest that Ted Cruz is also anti-establishment.
I would as well, but a lot of people don't.
And he's campaigning on it.
Wasn't Rubio born from the Tea Party? Wasn't that part of the Tea Party movement?
Until the Gang of Eight.
The Tea Party has been embraced by every elected Republican.
The conservatives hate the idea that Marco Rubio, with Senator McCain and a couple others, decided that to make the Gang of Eight the vehicle to bring possibly path to amnesty for 12 million.
And meanwhile, okay, so they hang the Gang of Amnesty, Gang of Eight, around Marco Rubio, but are willing to forget 7 or 8 liberal positions held by Donald Trump. That's hypocrisy. There are people here willing
Greg,
to forget.
You're drawing the line between far right and
I never drew a line.
But you're distinguishing between far right and center right.
I think
I'm saying it's outsider, insider, not far right, center right.
With burying the lead here, it appears as if these sustained attacks on Donald Trump are taking their toll. Look at what is happening in Kansas. Ted Cruz wins with the kids in Maryland. More importantly, he's winning in Kansas. Kansas is a state like Oklahoma. I think that Ted Cruz now is benefiting from everyone and their uncle attacking Donald Trump.
Based on 5% or 6%.
No, I think that
30%.
I think Kansas is going to go like Oklahoma and the Texas.
Well, let's do this. We're going to talk about Florida later, but
wait and see March 15th.
No, Trump had.
We'll be here every day working. Don't
Trump
worry.
had a 16-point lead in Florida. Do you think it's eroding because of the sustained attacks?
No, he's having a big rally there today too. I mean, no, I think that look, I saw it the other night, and just everybody, they were going crazy for him. I'm telling you, I don't think that he's. Yeah,
look at Orlando today.
Yes, this is what I'm saying.
25,000 in the stadium in North Orlando.
No one's disputing that. Well,
they turned away thousands of others.
You have to talk about the people within your own. I'm talking about not even about the party. I'm talking about the conservative movement. There are people that have been vilified for not jumping on the bandwagon. At some point, you have to go to those people. Hey, you know what? I'm sorry that I vilified you. I'm sorry that I made fun of John McCain.
He's not going to apologize, though, Greg. That's not his style.
He's already changed his mind twice. He changed his mind on war crimes and on the visas. Well, it's kind of the same thing.
And I think that you're being very naive to expect that you could be.
You know what? You're probably right.
But
you're probably right.
The Republican Party right now. Look at the anger in Megan Holt's.
No one disputes the momentum. The momentum is there. Obviously, this is a movement that's happening, and this is a movement in America that no one can deny. Obviously, what we're saying as people who fight on television every day against the liberal left, against everything, against abortionists. I have him going on TV saying Planned Parenthood is an okay thing after I was disgusted by the videos that came out this summer. And what we're talking about now is trying to unify this party when clearly, just look at this table right now, it is coming apart.
Last thing, the brilliant question, you brought it up by Brett Baer at the end of that debate. Will each of you, pledge to honor the nominee if it's Donald Trump? And they all said they would. At the end, they will come together, because if you want somebody like Hillary Clinton that is responsible for the deaths of 4 Americans also picking the next Supreme Court justice, sleep on that.
That's why it matters. That's why
if he apologizes to POWs, I'm happy to support him.
Would you support Donald Trump?
If he apologizes to my father and POWs, I'm happy to.
What if he doesn't?
Then I don't know what I do. I certainly can't vote for Hillary, but I don't know what I'm going to do.
But not voting is a vote for Hillary.
Johnson. Johnson.
Would you? I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry, but I'm
Which
so sorry, but I don't
Johnson?
understand why this is so hard for people to understand, that insulting POWs, the kind of life I come from, the kind of military family I come from. How is it not hard for you to understand that?
I've had basically a battle with the establishment Republican group, and if the GOP puts up an establishment Republican, Jeb Bush, I wouldn't love it, but I would vote for Jeb Bush over Hillary Clinton in a heartbeat.
How is it hard for you to understand how personal it is for me?
Because she even talks about her sister having a hard time at school and college because people are questioning her father's.
People are questioning my father's
Really?
How do you not understand this?
It's an emotional thing for what you're talking about.
I'm sick of people asking me to get over this. I mean, for real.
Oh, no,
you don't have to get over it. There are no marching orders here. Feel what you want to feel.
I often have Irish amnesia. I only remember the
Hillary in the White House.
We need to go. They're yelling at me.